Tonight, our hearts are united in a shared commitment to peace. The stories of hope and determination echo through the ages. And this evening, we stand as a testament to the power of unity and understanding. Our collective presence here is a powerful symbol of our dedication to a world where understanding and empathy prevail over discord. Tonight, you will hear from our students, friends, and community rabbis the stories of men and women who worked tirelessly to build peace in the Middle East. You will hear songs carrying the message of hope, and you will hear how our children in Hoboken find solace with each other and for their friends and families in Israel. At this time, I would like to introduce Sage Gertman, our club president.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Hi, I'm Sage Gertman. I'm the president of the Jewish American Culture Club, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming in support of our community. Before we proceed, let's take a moment of silence to honor the individuals represented by every 222 seats in the back, symbolizing those kidnapped by the terrorist group Hamas. Thank you. In our pursuit of lasting peace, let us work towards fostering understanding and empathy among all parties involved. We must advocate for dialogue, respect for human rights, and the dignity of every individual. Together, as a community, we can work to create a world where everyone is valued, where discord can be solved peacefully, and where everyone can live in security, prosperity, and harmony. Not only in Israel, but everywhere. This is the JACC's main objective, to foster a community of like-minded people who value knowledge and justice. We'll be striving to raise money for Israeli humanitarian groups and much more in the upcoming year. Now, Camila Suarez, our club secretary, will give us her speech on the importance of educating yourself in regards to this matter.
Good evening, everybody. And before I start, I'd like to thank all of you who were able to come. I stand before you extremely upset and saddened by everything that's going on in Israel and Gaza, as I assume many of you are. When I first heard about it, I just arrived home from work on Sunday, like any other day. I put my bag away, I greeted my cat Lola, I went to get a snack, when suddenly my mom stopped me and told me that we needed to talk. So much information. So much truly deplorable behavior, and so much of everything all at once coming at me from every single direction. I mean, I was shocked, to say the least. Even now, standing up here, it's difficult to try and imagine everything that's going on. I was scared for what was going to happen next. No one knew, and even now, no one does. And most of all, I was extremely confused. There was so much information and history that I was completely oblivious to. After this conversation with my mom Sunday afternoon, I felt a moral obligation to learn about the history of the Jewish people in Israel, why we left and why we came back, Palestine and Israel's conflict, etc., because trust me, there is so much more. Despite no one telling me to do this, despite having way too much on my plate from school and my extracurriculars, despite not technically needing to, I wasn't going to be graded for this, I did. As they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and I am extremely grateful for this decision. Interestingly, I've noticed that every time I've chosen to dedicate to myself to a topic, I always end up arriving at a unique conclusion, one that is not commonly expressed in social media or news outlets, but consisting of my own thoughts and knowledge. And that is that violence at any scale is never justifiable. Violence, as we have seen in the media, is never justifiable. Violence is never justifiable. Period. Regardless of debates and disagreements over what's happened between Israel and Palestine, Hamas is not absolved of its crimes against humanity simply because of history. And I would like to recognize that I am not the first person to support this opinion. In fact, many people believed in the message of peace and human rights between Israel and Palestine long before me. But something that I found interesting, and maybe some of you can relate to this as well, is that when you're scrolling through social media, you will often find a message of extreme political opinions, occasional misinformation, and sometimes some of the horrific videos that are currently being posted from Hamas that I think we all know about. All of this can lead to very warped perceptions and understandings of these issues, and can lead many people to not understand the gravity of these situations. It can lead many people to be ill-informed, and overall, it causes for people to form very uninformed opinions. What I ask of you all today, what I ask all of you to take away from this, is to plant your own seed of knowledge. Regardless of the opinion you may come to, whether we agree or not, it is important to be educated on such matters. If we wish to form any opinion at all, allow the seed to grow. Give it all the fertilizer, sunlight, water it could possibly need. Continue to read papers, watch documentaries, read the news. Soon, with this, what was once a small seed, will blossom and grow, hopefully spreading farther and wider across communities. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to present a very special guest from Temple Beth El in Jersey City. We are honored to present Rabbi Mari.
So, last week, maybe some of you know this, maybe some of you know this story. In Torah, we read about how God picks out Noah out of a world of corrupt people, not because he was perfect, but because he was an ish tzaddik tamim haya b'torotav. What on earth does that mean? It means he was righteous in his generation. Literally a righteous man in that he was blameless in his age. Or maybe more colloquially, we would say he was righteous considering his generation. It's a strange kind of backhanded compliment, wouldn't you say? I mean, he's the guy that God picked. But if you think about it, and you think back, there are a lot of things that people would do a generation or two ago that we wouldn't dream of calling right or good today. And this is important because righteousness, doing the right thing, is not so much absolute as it is a function of doing the right thing in the context of a specific age or even a specific situation. And that can get complicated. These are rough days. We're all hurting, and we're all grappling with our humanity and thinking about everything that's being thrown at us because it is objectively a lot for anybody who cares. So let's just all take a collective moment and breathe, because we need that. We're still reeling from the shock and the horror of the October 7th massacres. And just when we're feeling that the world should understand our pain and the need for Israel to make sure that nothing like this could ever happen again, it seems like in a blink, the sands of empathy are shifting. We wouldn't be human if we didn't feel the trauma to all of humanity on both sides of this conflict. Yet each piece of equivocating news and insensitive social media posts feels like a gut punch to our souls. It's exhausting, and it's demoralizing, and it can eat away at our faith in humanity. And as human beings, we're horrified to see anyone suffering on either side. And while many of us come here as Jews with all that brings, and it's a lot that we bring to this, but we are all human beings first. And we, as Jews, are not a people of absolutes. In many ways, this is the essence of being Jewish. It may be comfortable or simpler to think about things in absolutes or black and white, but it's not the reality of most of the world. Most importantly, it skirts the Jewish mandate to create holiness in the real world, which is where Judaism seeks it, right here, right now. It's not in some other world. But our task is to try to resist oversimplification, whether it be on our side or on another side. Rather, what we need to try to do is to hold the complexity. Peace and justice aren't served by those who paint this conflict in absolute terms and cannot abide by the complexity, even the paradox and the multiple truths that can exist and that do exist at the same time. Indeed, we are all people who need to learn how to live with intellectual conflict. And that's perhaps new when you're in high school, thinking about things in this way. The pain that we're feeling is from having to hold a number of truths at the same time. For example, one is that Israel feels forced to kill innocent people in order to protect innocent people. Another is that Israel is risking its own people to protect innocent Palestinian lives, while Hamas leadership urges those same innocents, uses those same innocents as pawns to rack up sympathy. Israel wants a negotiated peace, and Hamas's charter precludes negotiation. There are so many more, including that the Palestinian people have complaints as well. But I'll just add one more, that Israel is trying to disarm Hamas for that protection, while knowing it will face the world who condemns it for the consequences of doing so. It's both an exhausting and an inspiring element to me of being Jewish. That's the need to embrace and to hold all of this in its complexity. As high schoolers, you're just moving from the world of black and white to shades of gray. You're now growing into making choices that are not only good versus bad, but also learning to see situations where there are often no good choices, and we have to think about what is the least bad. And we may live and study and work and play with people who feel very different from the way that we do. Some are ignorant, which is perhaps the most frightening. But others really truly hold different views because their lives experience a very different reality. And while hearing what they have to say is hard, listening is crucial for our whole lives. So while we're all struggling, because I am too, I'd like to leave you with a few suggestions to keep us all healthy and strong. One is to stay connected to your Jewish community, because this is healing. There is comfort and there is safety, and there's a lot you don't have to explain there. Don't forget to breathe, to meditate, and even pray. Be as knowledgeable as you can, but get your information from dependable sources, not TikTok, not your social media feed. And balance all of that with good friends, good food, good play, and plenty of it. Practice walking away, or not responding to every comment that you hear that is insensitive or ignorant. This is wisdom, and it will strengthen you, practicing knowing when to just walk away. Because, and this is the last one, remember that none of us are going to be solving this matter, this particular mess. We're only observers in this conflict. We care deeply, and some of this is happening to people very close to us, but we are here. And it's not a popularity contest. Let's remember, we don't need to enter it. And like Noah, who wasn't absolutely perfect, none of us are. But we all really just need to get through the flood so that the next time we can even help to make it better. So I'd like to offer these words from Psalm 122. And I'm going to read them in English, and then I'm going to teach them. There's only a few of them, like 6 of them, maybe 7. And then I'm really happy that Rabbi Scheinberg is going to sing it and play it along with us. So the words in English say, "May there be well-being within your walls and calm in your towers." So repeat after me. Yehi shalom. Behelach. Shalva. Be'armenotayich. Be'armenotayich. That's the only hard one. Be'armenotayich.
Thank you very much to both rabbis for that amazing song, prayer, and speech. Now, Noah Lender, a member of our club, will speak.
I'm going to read, can you hear me? A little closer. All right, better? Yes. I'm going to be reading a poem that I wrote. In the heart of the Middle East, a nation stands, a beacon of hope in shifting sands. Israel, a land of ancient dreams, where the sun's golden rays and history gleams. From Jerusalem's walls to Dead Sea's shore, Israel's spirit is something to adore. The tapestry woven with faith and pride, in this land many cultures coincide. Innovations bloom in the desert's heat, a cradle of progress and technology unbeat. Stars and dreams, they take flight, in Israel's embrace where day turns to night. But it's not just progress that sets Israel apart. It's the strength of the people and their beating heart. Through challenges faced, they've found their way to forge a better future, come what may. Now let us understand, in this delicate land, peace is the answer that us all understand. In a world torn by conflict and strife, may Israel's light guide us to a better life. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. And now a few words from Jonathan.
Hello, I am Jonathan Rootman. On Saturday, October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel with the intention to kill as many civilians as possible. The result was devastating. Over 1,400 people murdered and 200 kidnapped. This is a dire moment for the people of Israel. I wanted to share how life is in Israel right now. The entire nation is mourning for the people that have died. There's an effort to release the kidnapped people. People in Israel have had to put their life on hold. Schools are closed, and many people have stopped working, as many workers have been drafted to the army. The danger is not over, as missiles are constantly being fired to civilian areas. When a rocket is shot, people need to run to the shelter, sometimes in the middle of the night. Many people are concerned about their safety, and also about what is yet to come. I come from an Israeli family. I was born in the United States, but the rest of my family was born in Israel. I speak Hebrew and visit my friends and family in Israel every year. Just 2 months ago, I was on the beach at Tel Aviv with my friends, having fun, and it's hard to believe that now it's under attack. My family is endangered, and some of my cousins are currently fighting in the army. I feel worried. I can't do much. All I can do is support them, encourage them. I hate to see so many innocent people get hurt on both sides, but I have hope that Israel can get through this and that we find peace with the neighboring countries. I hope that I'll be back in Israel soon on the beach. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Jonathan. Now, Manila Monsalve, a student at Hoboken High School, will say a few words.
Hello everyone, my name is Manuela and today I'm going to be talking about hope for peace. In the midst of one of the longest conflicts in the world, there is a strong and unwavering desire for peace. The fight between Israel and Palestine isn't just a battle between two countries. It's a search for understanding, harmony, and a better future for everyone involved. As we see the complication of this situation, we should remember that peace isn't something we can reach and be done with. It's a continuous journey requiring ongoing effort and understanding. We must not let society further divide us. Divisions only continue the cycle of conflict and suffering. We are all part of the same human family, and we need to stand together in our pursuit of a more peaceful world. We should not let differences in beliefs, backgrounds, or perspectives blind us to our shared humanity. As a united global community, let's come together in prayer for peace in the world, especially in regions facing deep-rooted conflicts like Israel and Palestine. We hope that one day the people of Israel and Palestine can peacefully coexist in a land where their children can grow up without fear, violence, or suffering. We should continue to support and encourage any efforts that lead to a peaceful resolution. Let this be a reminder that we should never lose hope and that the pursuit of peace should always come first. We can work together as one global community to create a better future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Winona. Now Daniel Weintraub, our club treasurer, will speak.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a senior here at the high school. I was conflicted about coming to talk to all of you tonight because I lack any direct connections to Israel, and after reading through Rabbi Scheinberg's remarks from services a couple of weeks ago, it was difficult to imagine me being able to provide any additional insight or substance to this conversation that hasn't been said by many before. Over the past couple of weeks, though, my mind has continually flashed to a particular episode of The West Wing, and I'd like to share the contents of it with you. For those of you who don't know, The West Wing is a show about an exceptionally competent presidential administration set in the 90s and the early 2000s. It follows the presidency of Josiah Bartlett. Early in the first season, there is an episode entitled A Proportional Response, in which President Bartlett is faced with the deaths of some relatively small number of American soldiers in Syria. His Joint Chiefs present to him a proportionate response, in which a couple of long-abandoned military locations would be bombed. Bartlett spends the rest of the episode questioning the virtue of this kind of a response. The president provides a story of the Roman Empire, that at its height, a Roman could walk the globe and never feel in danger, because should a Roman be injured, the full force of the empire would bear itself upon the assailant. He questions why the US shouldn't act the same. His chief of staff, Leo, tells the president that should he wish to use the American military as the arm of the Lord to prevent anyone from bringing harm to his constituents, then he could. But he would have to be prepared to kill everyone to do it. America, he asserts, has a responsibility to be proportional, reasonable, and merciful, precisely because of its power. Of course, we are not in a situation where a small number of soldiers were killed. We've seen mass civilian casualties, and Israel is not the US. Yet, I believe in the lesson that nations in a position of power must act with restraint, act to protect and deter, but not to destroy. Leo concludes saying that a proportionate response isn't good. It will never feel like it is enough, but it is all that there is. In his words, it's what our fathers taught us. As Rabbi Scheinberg pointed out at morning services on the 14th, Jews have spent our entire history showing restraint in the face of violence in order to promote coexistence. That is what our fathers, our mothers, what all of those who have come before us have taught us. I believe that Israeli leaders sit with a set of impossible decisions, and I don't think it's possible for me to comment in anywhere near a sufficiently knowledgeable manner on their specific actions. I can, however, speak to how we conduct ourselves as Jews and as educated members of our community, country, and species as a whole. The Thursday before last, I was visiting the Columbia campus. They asked for student IDs at the gate to campus, which was surprising to me, but I entered onto the green and saw a fairly large protest with Palestinian flags. It certainly wasn't where I would have expected such a protest, as this was the same campus at which men stood at every entrance just a week prior at the Lulav and Metro for Sukkot. Yet, here it was. I was proud to see, though, that while there were some counter-protesters on the neighboring lawn, I observed no violence, no aggression, no hatred. And that is the real message that I hope to provide tonight. We shall grieve, pray, and do our best to make our voices heard. However, I hope that in doing so, we do not forget what our fathers taught us. I hope that we may recognize anger as a symptom of grief and not its resolution. I hope that we remember that Hamas does not encompass and does not represent the whole of, even the majority of Palestinians or Gazans. I hope that we can find a way to mourn losses of life in any form and come together with those who have links to Palestine to do so. I hope that we keep in mind that not every American is or can be expected to be fully educated on these issues. And with this in mind, I hope that when we encounter ignorance, we do our best to remedy it. Most of all, I hope that we may do as our ancestors taught us and rise above adversity, fighting to coexist even in the face of violence and tragedy. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Now, Rabbi Robert Scheinberg from the United Synagogue of Hoboken will share a few prayers, thoughtful words, and sing with Pamela Strell and Julio Fernandez, a Hoboken High School graduate and member of Spire General.
Thanks very much. I think before I say a few words, I think we'll invite Pamela and Julio to come up, and Pamela will be, I believe, introducing this song that we'd like to sing now.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Mrs. Perry, for organizing such an important and special evening. It's really meaningful. So, when Mrs. Perry told me that she was organizing this and that the rabbi was going to be here, I asked her if she might be interested in a song. And the rabbi and I have sung this song before called Iya Tov. It's a song by David Broza, an Israeli singer, and he wrote this song in the 70s. The poet who wrote the lyrics, Yonatan Geffen, the goal of the song was to say there will be peace, and he had hoped that the song would have an end to it, and he had said that he would write a new verse for every year that peace did not come, and sadly it's now a very, very long, long song. So we have to continue to have hope, to hold out hope and optimism, and we're going to sing a song. And I invited Hoboken High School alum from class of 1972 and 13-time nominated Grammy Award nominee Julio Fernandez. He's a lead guitarist for Spyro Gyra for more than 3 decades, and he's a member of our community and a legend to all of us. And he has performed and toured with the writer of the song many, many times in the United States and Israel as well. So thank you, Julio, for joining us.
אני מביט מהחלום וזה עושה לי התייעצות. האביב חלף אבל לא, מי יודע אם ישוב. הליצן היה למלך, הנביא נהיה ליצן, ושכחתי את הדרך, אבל אני עוד כאן. יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה איתך אני נשאר.
ילדים נושים כנפיים ועפים אל הצבא, ואחרי שנתיים הם חוזרים ללא תשובה. אנשים חיים במתח, מחפשים סיבה לנשום, ובין שנאת רצח מדברים על השלום. יהיה טוב, כן, לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה איתך אני נשאר. we're very grateful to Pamela and to Julio. Thank you so much for enabling us to sing this song. And just a couple of thoughts I wanted to share, and then continue with two additional songs that are on the back of the sheets that you've been distributed. One is that in addition, of course, to all of the people who have been kidnapped, whose release and security and health we're praying for, and all of the hundreds and hundreds of people who have lost their lives, all the families that are plunged into mourning. Another dimension of this tragedy that is on my mind are the thousands of people who were injured and the hundreds of people who still remain in the hospital. And I wanted to share something with you that you may already know if you have a lot of familiarity with Israel, which is that overwhelmingly, those people who were hospitalized, those who are still hospitalized, and those who were treated and then released and are now either have recovered from their injuries or recovering from their injuries at home, were treated by medical staffs that included Jews and Arabs, included Jews and Palestinians, included Christians, Muslims, Jews, and people of no religion. And that is simply how Israeli society works in so many sectors, and especially hospitals, medical teams, physicians, nurses, pharmacists is one of the examples among many of a sector within Israel in which, on a daily basis, Jews and Arabs work together functionally as colleagues every day. I think there's a lot of people in our world who would just be surprised to hear that, and that is actually part of the story of how this country works. I urge us all, and I'm echoing some of the things that have already been said, to see what happened on October 7th, not as a demonstration of the conflict between Israelis and Palestinians, but as a demonstration of the conflict between Israel and this terror group called Hamas. When Hamas first came into existence in the late 1980s, it was specifically with the purpose of being absolutely uncompromising, that it would never coexist with any Jewish presence in the Middle East. When the Oslo Peace Accords began in the 1990s, Hamas was there with numerous suicide bombings to try to prevent a Palestinian state to come into being alongside Israel. And arguably, it's one of the forces that, quote unquote, succeeded, and it's part of the reason why there is not now a Palestinian state existing alongside Israel. One among the reasons why the Oslo Peace Accords fell apart is this reign of terror of Hamas. And I urge us to bear this in mind, because our hearts should be big enough to contain the suffering of all human beings. And we just pray that this group that exhibits no regard for human life, as far as I can tell, on either side of the conflict, not be able to wreak additional damage and harm. I want to share some words about one of the songs that I'd like us to sing, which is Oseh Shalom B'Romav. Unfortunately, I think the Hebrew, it's probably my mistake, didn't show up on the program, but it's maybe known to many of us that I'd like us to sing it together. And when we had a vigil on last Tuesday night, 2 weeks ago, I shared some of these thoughts. The words of this prayer, one of the best known Jewish prayers for peace, it says, in Hebrew, Oseh Shalom B'Romav, Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. May the one who establishes peace in the heavens grant peace to all of us. Well, what kind of peace is there in the heavens? One of our Jewish commentators looks at that phrase, the one who establishes peace in the heavens, which is a phrase that comes from the Bible, from the book of Job, and says, well, if you imagine what it was like for our ancestors to look up at the sky, they didn't have, they didn't take the kinds of science courses you're taking, and so they just saw a pool of water with a ball of fire in the middle of a pool of water. That's what the sky looked like to them. And so they said, look at that, that's a miracle. In our world, Water extinguishes fire, or fire evaporates water. But look, in the heavens, they coexist. Maybe God can help us also to coexist. And this has been such a Jewish dream for so many centuries, even millennia, to coexist. As I learn more and more about the history of the modern state of Israel, I learn also that this is a dream to coexist with its neighbors in the Middle East, even when those neighbors in the Middle East were not interested in coexisting. Arguably, this reign of terror that we saw from a couple of weeks ago happened in part because of a growing closeness or possibility of closeness between Israel and Saudi Arabia, and that coexistence is so threatening to Hamas that they wanted, together with their sponsors in Iran, could not abide by such a coexistence, did not want to tolerate any opportunity for anyone to coexist with the state of Israel. And it remains our dream to coexist. I do hope and pray that it always remains the dream of the Jewish people and also the dream of Israel to coexist with its neighbors. In just a moment, we'll be singing the song Oseh Shalom. Before that, I'd like to also invite Rabbi Morit to come forward, and we'll sing another song, another prayer for the Jewish community in times of crisis. Achinu kol beit Yisrael, hanutuni batzara ubashivya. For all of our brothers and sisters in the house of Israel and throughout the world who face distress and captivity, whether on sea or land, may God have compassion upon them and bring them from distress to relief, from darkness to light, from servitude to redemption, at this moment speedily, very, very soon. And on our minds so much are all of the chairs that are now set aside for those who are currently in captivity.
Shalom Aleinu,
for that beautiful message, song, and speech. Now, Sylvie Straw will recite a poem by Guy Manati.
Hello, my name is Sylvie Straw. This poem is written by someone who grew up in Israel and lived in Israel and moved out and knew many of the people who were held hostage currently, and so I'm going to be reading the poem. It wasn't us. We weren't there when terrorists attacked at dawn. Death and bloodshed everywhere. But we still live, and they are gone. Imagining how it would feel taken hostage by a gun, or shot while dancing in a field not to see another sun, or sleeping gently, unaware, when they approach and break the door, the sound of gunfire in the air. And then just silence, evermore. But we are safe, and we are here. We weren't there. We are scared of this. I will softly whisper in your ear that love is all, and it's all there.
Thank you, Sylvie. Now to close, I will be reading a few words written by Leah Patel about the importance of peace builders. In this time of tragedy and war, there are some peace builder organizations and people on both sides trying to create a society where Jews and Arabs can coexist. Vivian Silver became the leader of the Negev Institute for Strategies of Peace and Development. This is where she created an empowerment for the local Arab Bedouin community. After that, she became the leader and co-founder of the movement called Women Wage Peace, WWP. According to their website, their mission is to empower women from diverse communities to build trust across divides. Their sister organization on Palestinian side, Women of the Sun, has the same goal. In addition, Vivian Silver has driven cancer patients who are citizens of Gaza to Israeli hospitals. Sadly, her kibbutz was raided and she was one of the 150 civilians kidnapped. An organization called Hand in Hand Teachers Israeli and Palestinian Kids, Hand in Hand also facilitates meetings between parents. They organize discussions, picnics, integrated sports teams, community gardens, and dialogue groups. Shalomi and Shahar Matias educate their children in those types of schools as part of their commitment to building a shared society between Israelis and Palestinians. Unfortunately, they were both killed while shielding their 16-year-old son who survived. Heyman Katzman was a peace activist who was murdered. Awad Darashi was a Palestinian citizen of Israel and close relative of the founder of Givat Haviva Center for Israeli-Arab Coexistence. He was killed while serving as a medic at the dance party. The mission of Givat Haviva is to have solidarity of all people and Jewish-Arab partnership. Their principles include mutual respect and trust. Thank you, that was all. May we all strive to be peace builders. Thank you all for coming this evening. Okay, that was it. You guys can blow out your candles and we'll have a box that you can put them in. Again, thank you everyone for coming. Oh, we have a donation box outside on our